Alright, hey guys, this is Yoann Cifuentes with the first episode of Pwncast. I'm here with Freddy Rivas.
Hey, what's up?
Pwnaholic.
What's good?
Ryan Howard.
Master of epic stories.
One of the writers on Wack Ops, and Devon, our house. Some random ass guy, pretty much.
So yeah, basically the point of our Pwncast is earlier this season in The Walking Dead, every time we would all kick it together, you know, at the homie's house, Devon's house, and we would watch the episode, and after the end of each episode we found ourselves debating the points and of the morality of each episode. Yes, right, Spencer?
Very much so. Me and Ryan
in particular.
So. Yeah.
So what are you guys' thoughts on the episode? Do you guys have any? You got some shit written down or what?
Well, first of all, very well written as usual. Writers of The Walking Dead fucking punner.
Yeah.
Know what's good on good dialogue and good character development.
I really like the opening scene between Rick and Shane. I thought that shit was dope.
Yeah.
I love how the whole episode opened up and ended on Rick being like, "That is my wife. That is my kid.
Yeah.
That is my unborn child, and you better fucking understand." That shit was dope.
See,
yeah.
that
shit was
unborn
tough.
child part, though, is like kind of...
Yeah, it's like, it's not really your unborn child.
Yeah.
You know?
We'll see if he's kind of brown when he comes out.
I do dislike Shane.
Not
Looking
Rick's
crazy.
baby.
I do
definitely not
dislike
Rick's
Shane,
baby.
but I do feel he does have a right to some say in that child and who that child belongs to.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just like laying down the law that he may not be his father, but he's gonna be his dad.
It's just
like,
unfortunate
their
that
family.
they're in a world
Yeah,
where they're not going to be able to
exactly. No,
determine whose
Freddy's
baby that
right.
is.
At the end of the episode, he asked Shane to be a part of the family, like come back.
I didn't
know.
When you didn't see when he handed him
Nah,
the gun, he was like, "Come back."
But
But
yeah,
I don't think he meant come back to the
Yeah,
family.
whoa.
He said
Yeah.
come back to the community, not to my
Yeah.
family.
Yeah,
Whoa.
like you're not that uncle that just like...
Yeah, you're not going to be that cool
Hey,
quirky
Uncle
uncle.
Shane.
Yeah.
So you think like him handing him the gun at the end of the episode was him saying like, "I want you to be the Godfather"?
It's a sign. It was a sign of like it was like a sign of faith that hey, I think you understand now. Hey, this is my child. This is my wife. You can still live here with us, but I feel you understand that now. Like,
Yeah,
yo,
'cause
you're
you
not
gotta-
gonna try to murk me because you're in love with my wife. You know, like.
Yeah. Especially since he just saved his life. Like,
Yeah.
When he if he would have done what Shane would have done, Shane would have been left there just
Shane
stranded
throws a
and hoping
wrench
the
at him
best.
or whatever that
I
thing
know,
was to try to
Shane
kill
threw a
him.
fucking wrench at
And
him.
then Rick goes around and comes back and saves his life like a
Yeah,
fucking
dude.
boss.
Everybody see the dope ass scene in the glass pane where Shane's got the blood out of his mouth
And he
he's-
looks at himself in the
and-
mirror. In the
and he
reflection.
looks like a
Yeah.
zombie essentially in the
Yeah.
mirror.
Yeah.
That right there to me was Shane's turning point. Like,
Yeah.
oh fuck,
him
look,
seeing himself as
what
the
what have
monster
I
he is.
become? You know, like
Unfortunately,
I did see
I think
that.
they need a Shane though, because Rick is the greater good, and or Rick is like the good, Shane is like the bad, and like they can equal each other out. But in the end, like
what does that
Rick
make? What does that make
overtakes
Carl
Shane.
like the dude in the middle with like the
Nah, because Shane
angels on their shoulders?
Nah,
and shit? Angel devil
ultimately
on the
Shane
shoulder?
put the idea that they have to kill the kids. So then after a while, he was like, you know what? I have to kill him by the next day. Like, you know, you always gotta have that.
Oh yeah,
Shane.
some
To,
crazy shit. I noticed. All right, the
They both
knife-
have a mutual agreement now, kind of. Go. Oh,
All
sorry,
right,
my bad.
all right, all right.
Go,
the,
go, go.
The knife that Rick gave the kid to cut his ropes was the same knife he stabbed the zombie in the face with. And I was thinking if the kid accidentally sliced himself while he was cutting the ropes.
If he would have turned into a zombie.
No, he's in the back of the car for another day. You know, he's bringing him back to the camp
Oh, I
for
see.
a car for another day. So, like, if he turns into a zombie and they open the back of that car the next day, dude,
That's-
Shane is gonna go ballistic because he knows, like, he's gonna go like, I told you I was right again. I'm right
Nah,
always.
for sure.
You know?
For sure.
Yeah, but how would that make Shane right? Shane wasn't saying he was going to turn into
He
a
was
zombie.
saying, well, he was gonna shoot him in the head. And
No,
end
I
the whole
understand
kid
what
thing there,
Spencer's
you know?
saying.
before
Yeah,
they,
but if they bring him back and he's a zombie, they can just stab him in the brain and it'll be the
But
end.
dude, just that he brought another zombie back when he could have just killed him.
zombie.
I'm still
Yeah, but
saying,
Shane could bring up
is
the whole
gonna
point of
destroy
like,
him.
we keep making these petty mistakes, like blah
Yeah,
blah.
like,
We
you
got to
can't-
start being more on
yeah.
point and doing what
That's a
needs to
good
be
impression, by
done.
the way.
Like, yeah.
I'm, a
I'm typically Team Rick though. I think,
Yeah, I'm typically Team Rick just because.
In my
I've
opinion,
grown
you
to be
shouldn't
Team
be
I
Rick.
think Rick pones more in what it means to be a hero simply because of the fact that his drive, his nature is to simply do what's right. The proving point of that is Shane attempting to kill him, and 20 minutes later, Rick still saves his life because it's purely the right thing to do. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
I
saying?
think that was pretty tight.
When
Rick
I
was
used to be on Shane's team. I still am, but like it's hard to be, you know. It's
Yeah.
hard to be on Shane's
What are
team.
you guys
'cause he's
fucking
a little-
Twilight
he's a
Model
crazy
over here?
motherfucker.
That's one of the founding reasons we decided to do the
We're gonna
Pwncast
get shirts with sparkles on
was
them.
our debates over who is the best leader for the group towards the greater good between Rick and Shane.
Yeah.
I mean, I think in the end,
You
for
need
the
the both of
human
them.
race, for Shane, if Shane held down and did exactly what he needed to do, the human race would make it farther, but they may not be as. There may be some grimy ass shit going on, you know. I think if what needs to be done is what needs to be done.
See,
You
I
gotta
think
do it. That bitch with the knife needs to just kill herself because she's fucking crazy. Needs to get her ass out of the gene pool.
On that
Yeah.
note,
This is dumb.
There's a gang of things.
But
on
if you're
there
talking
that-
about protecting the gene pool, then shouldn't you be trying to help her out so that there's another woman in the group,
No.
someone who can help her, you know?
yeah,
let them go. Yeah, I got my.
No, I'm just saying,
But-
just whether or not she's a woman or not. I'm just saying having another person in the group is
Yeah,
beneficial if
that's
you can
true.
help her.
That's
you know?
not
Okay.
true. Having more people in the group doesn't necessarily.
I think there is
Well,
there
when it
is
comes to
power in
breeding,
numbers.
like,
There
when you
is
have to
power
breed
in
the future,
numbers.
And
Okay,
children
okay,
have
if you-
children have to have sex.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like there are going to be relatives.
Then obviously
Yeah, it'll be
she
like
needs
more of a
to be in the
mixture, so
group.
it'll be like less retardation and.
Yeah, that would be.
That's
that,
how more-
that
So
would
you
be
don't
better.
you don't want her to
Okay.
kill herself if we need
more
her in the
chromosome-
group either
You
way.
know what though? The way that you think about the way humanity, and you're right, that's how they should be thinking. But I don't think that's the way that these group of survivors are thinking. I think they're thinking much more in the immediate.
And that's-
How are we gonna
that's-
keep ourselves alive till next
They're-
week? You
But
know what I
now
mean?
they're at the farms. Now they're gonna have to start thinking about. They need to start making like a chart. Like, okay, you two are gonna have this baby, and then you two are gonna have this baby to have sex with those babies, so they're not related. They need to make a chart to have this.
Yeah,
much
see, I
non-relation-
think that's kind of like a dictatorship,
Yeah.
mini
Yeah.
new world order. That's
Yeah,
there's
see,
no. I don't
Well,
think
I
that's
mean,
right.
At the
I don't think
beginning,
that's
if
right.
you're talking about the survival of the human race, like you're gonna have to do something to breed. But at the same time, what I was gonna say about the whole suicide thing, like she didn't do it in the first try, which it's done and over with. I think they're not gonna even break. The suicide thing is going to be done with that girl, and that's going to be like that's her growing up right now.
Yeah.
She just grew up and realized, oh fuck, I have to do what I got to do to
Yeah, like what kills you doesn't make.
I
you,
don't know,
just makes
man.
you stronger.
I can't condone the
Well,
letting
that's-
her choose whether or not she wants to kill herself in a
No, I don't-
post-apocalyptic
I don't
world.
I don't condone
you
that
need
at
every
all.
member of your group that you have.
I think they should
Dude,
have
that was-
stopped her and like watched her 24 hours a day and been like, yo, you ain't gonna kill yourself. Fuck that.
That was fucked up on Andrea's part.
Yeah, that was super grimy.
That was-
Andrea's my
what is
favorite
it?
character, by the way. I've read all the comics, and in my opinion, they are totally destroying her character in the show. Just wanted to point that
Yeah,
out.
we're not gonna. Me and Ryan know what's good on the comics. We're not gonna get started
Yeah,
on
well,
it.
yeah.
It's one of the reasons I'm Team Rick. Honestly, in the show, a lot of times I've been more disappointed in Rick's character than in the comic book because he shows a lot more. I don't like that he he bows down to Shane sometimes, straight up. Sometimes he's just like, all right, Shane, you know what? You're right. I don't like
But
that.
that's yin and yang.
You're right, and
That's
sometimes
how it
Shane
has
is
to go.
right.
Yeah, a lot of the time Shane is right.
Yeah.
A lot.
It's like I
See-
want to like Rick because of how I know him in the comic books, but in the show, it's like a lot of times the things he does and the decisions he makes, I'm like, I don't know, man. It's a lot more questionable in the show.
Yeah, but whether Shane's right or not, if Shane may be right in the end, but Rick is still trying to do the right thing at the beginning.
Yeah, Rick is always trying to do the right thing.
Whether or not it ends the same way, I mean,
Just
Rick
ask
is always
yourself
gonna
this though: if you're ever in a shit fuck zombie situation, who would you rather be with, Shane or Rick? Who do you
Yeah,
think would have your
Rick.
back? Who do you think would have a better chance of having your back?
I'd
Rick
rather be
would.
with Shane, fun.
I think Rick would have
What
my
if that
back.
were worth the
Shane-
same
Shane-
Shane would leave you for
Then
dead,
I would
bro.
do the
Yeah,
same
Shane
thing
would
with
leave you for dead.
Like any human being should do. If somebody's fucking you up, sorry, dude.
That's why I'd be like, Rick, let's go,
Oh,
Shane, get the fuck out.
See, that's why I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I think if Rick's the leader of the group, Rick cares about people. Everybody has a fair chance. If Shane's the leader of the group, the only person that's guaranteed to survive is Shane.
No, see, Rick has his family first, guaranteed. He would
Yeah.
murder
You're
everybody in the group.
Yeah.
You don't
to
even
keep
know.
his
You're
family
so
alive.
right.
He
No,
would-
that's
Rick
definitely
would,
true. But that's how any
mean,
person
he
is.
just said
Whether
it
or not
in
you're the
this
leader of a
episode, I
group
will-
or a good guy or
I
a bad
will
guy,
fucking
you're going to
murder
protect your
everyone.
kin first before your moral obligations. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
I just feel
so,
that
and I
Rick
think
would have
a
my
big
back.
factor of
I've
keeping
seen Shane shooting
your family
already.
keeping your family safe is keeping the environment around your family safe, which means having people working together. You know. So I mean.
Alright, I feel it.
So, and if you have one guy, for example, Shane, calling all the shots, saying, you know, we can get rid of this person, or fucking, we need to do this in this situation, it doesn't really provide the best atmosphere to live in if you're not the leader.
Oh wait, you don't like
know.
dictatorships?
Well, dude, if it's a zombie apocalypse, drastic times call for drastic measures.
I would definitely prefer to be in Rick's group
I don't know.
over
Think
Shane's
about
group.
the
Yeah, but drastic times don't call for drastic measures. Like, you keep a democracy always, and you will survive. I mean, look at us now.
Anyways, back to the suicide thing. What is this stupid? What's the dumb bitch's girl that tried to kill herself?
I don't even know her name.
No,
I don't even know the bitch's
Important enough
name.
to have
That's
her
how
name.
unimportant she is to the story.
Yeah.
Was she even in the rest of the episodes?
Fuck if I know. I don't even remember.
She has been in earlier
I just remember
episodes.
her
She's the chick that has been passed out for the last 2 or 3 episodes.
Oh, that's why we don't know who the fuck she
Dude, they're
is.
gonna try to make her important somehow, I bet.
Probably.
Dude,
Do
I
you
hope
know her
they
name,
don't.
Ryan? Does anyone know her name? Nobody here knows her name.
I
Let's
have
call her
read the
Ashley.
comics, and she
Generic
is.
white bitch Ashley.
Her and
Okay,
Daryl
generic-
are gonna like hook up or
Let's
something.
pretend her name's Ashley. Anyways,
That could get confusing. We should just call her Knife Girl.
Okay.
Knife girl
Yeah. Okay.
or suicide
Wacko.
girl. or
Suicide
Whack
girl,
Let's
okay.
call her euthanasia. We're good.
All right. So anyways, what I was getting to is Andrea. I don't think it was fucked up to euthanasia. Let's call her or Ashley or whatever. It's more
I
fucked up.
thought it was Renee.
I think it was,
Anyway.
I think it was fucked up to Maggie, really.
Yeah.
And she like looked her right in the
Yeah.
eye, like, don't worry, like, and then like, dude, how are you gonna do that? Lie to Maggie and then come back and be like, it's okay, blah blah blah, and try to get back in the house, like
That was super grimy.
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
super bad.
Seriously.
I think we already went over it, but some bullshit about leaving people behind, like never doing it. Like Ryan touched on it and all that shit, but like,
Oh yes, we had a.
but this is just my opinion on it. Like,
You should never leave people.
you
behind.
should never leave anyone behind. Obviously, unless
no matter
you're
what.
an idiot. No, not no matter what. Unless you're if you're threatening the group, obviously with danger, then yeah, you probably need to be left behind. But like that kid,
Okay, what about this?
the kid didn't need to be killed or left behind.
I agree with you with the kid. I don't necessarily think they needed to, just because he was in with a bad group.
Yeah, that doesn't make it. Just because you're in with that group, that's just survival
They
tactics.
still don't know him.
You're right,
They still
but they
don't
don't know
know.
any of those people.
That's
Could have
another-
been
that's another
the
person to
trench
take a-
coat kid at the school that Maggie went to. That's why she never noticed.
Who's
him.
more dangerous, the
This
kid or
right?
Shane?
Yeah, Shane's
Well,
probably more
Shane's
dangerous
got
than the
ties
kid.
to these people, so he's not gonna do some crazy.
Oh, because he's a fucking loony bin, but
What-
he's got seniority. He can stay.
And what ties does Shane have to like Dale
You know-
or Maggie?
Well, you
can kill
know
him.
who
He doesn't
Shane
give a
is.
fuck.
You know his background. He was a cop. You know where he came from. This kid just fucking might as well have just dropped out of the sky with a gun.
We know because we're
We
the
dropped out of the
audience,
roof,
I
but
mean,
you know.
Yeah. Dude.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I would just give the kid a chance. Like, I mean, it doesn't look like they gave him a chance at all.
Dude, that if they would have
Well,
left
no, they
him
gave-
there,
yeah, they
that's
gave him
the
a
biggest
chance,
chance
yeah.
he's fucking gonna get.
Yeah.
You're lucky Shane didn't walk up and put a bullet in your head if you're walking away from that situation.
Dude,
That's
lucky-
true. That's true.
You said that's the best chance he's gonna get.
I mean, he did
The
Yeah,
get
best
that-
chance would be living with the group.
Oh yeah, but
Obviously.
but the
Dude, they
best
could have
friend
left him with the
was
zombie
Shane.
stuck in the fence. You know what I mean? Like,
Dude, I don't know. With Rick Grimes as leader, I don't see it too unrealistic. He could join the group. I could see him joining the group.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could too, but I don't want him to.
I could see him.
That
I could see
doesn't
him
seem
joining the group.
realistic.
I could see him joining the group and being like a good addition to the group and being like a
I
cool,
feel you, he could
funny
be.
kid, like
I
a
mean, I don't
Glenn
know.
kind of character.
Yeah, I don't know, but you don't know.
Oh, I don't know shit.
Rick Grimes does have
You
the
don't want some
protagonistic
crazy
trait
shit.
of getting people to like him. Like,
Who?
just see Rick Grimes. He has that trait of he carries himself as the guy that gives you an impression that he's a good guy, that he cares about people. So maybe I could see the kid like joining the group, seeing how Rick is, and being like, okay, this is a group I definitely want to be with. These are like Rick is a good guy. These are good people, you know. But if Shane's the leader of the group, then that kid's going to be intimidated, and Shane's going to immediately assume he's the enemy, and it's not going to be productive for.
If
gaining
Shane was the
trust.
leader of the group, he would have been dead already.
Yeah.
no
And-
question about it.
Yeah.
I mean, and last episode, the kid fucking he got left by the people he was with anyway. Like, they didn't give a fuck about him, so they're not going to come back
that
looking for him.
is true. Yeah,
Yeah.
so he obviously didn't have that close of ties to those guys, or they
Yeah.
would have done what Rick
Yeah.
did and just ripped his knee off that fence.
At
I don't know if
Yeah.
everybody
I mean,
would
they
have
just
done
kinda
what
used him
Rick
as another
did, 'cause
head to
I
have,
would have
like,
been.
more-
I would have. I don't think I. You know what? I probably would have done that shit. I'd have been like, "Let's go!"
See, I would have left him in the first place. They took way too much time, dude. That was crazy.
I would've-
They had
this
is what I
somebody
would've
in
done.
every direction.
Rick is greater than us all.
I might
This
have
is what
quoted
I
the
would've
Hulk
done.
beforehand.
Rick is a true hero.
Nah, this is what I've done straight up. I would have walked up to the kid. I would have put a gun to his head. I would say, "Hey, we're either gonna leave you here, or I'm gonna shoot you in the head. What do you want me to do?
Boom.
If you want me to shoot you in the head, I'll shoot you in the head. If you want, or maybe I'd take his leg off and leave him like up by
Yeah,
himself.
we'll let
I
you
wouldn't take him
crawl.
with us.
So you
'Cause
want
I
to be a
don't know.
crawler, bro?
I think Rick did the right thing.
Rick did the right thing. but I
See
would-
that goes right back to me saying you don't leave anybody behind.
It's just that it's that drive, that subconscious drive to do what's right. Like I can't leave this kid here. I can't just let him die. I don't like this kid. I don't trust him. He could fuck us all over. He could want to kill us, but I can't leave him here because it's the wrong thing.
I've kind of
Naruto-ness?
grown to trust the kid from this last episode. But in the original episode, I see somebody sniping at me, and then they're like, "Oh, come help me." I'm gonna be like, you know what?
You
Yeah.
can go fuck yourself.
Kind of.
But then that's
You were
why
trying to kill me.
Rick is the leader.
You're right. That is why Rick is maybe not the lead. That's why Rick is the most heroic character in the show.
Yeah, but I think people see these traits in Rick, which is why he has ascended to be the leader. Because I mean, Shane was in charge, and then when Rick came back, everybody got to know Rick and started looking up to Rick.
Yeah.
That's
You know
because
what
they
I'm
realized
saying?
Shane was
It's
a loony
because- it's
bin.
because of Rick's personality. You can see that he cares.
Just so everybody knows, that's my opinion on Shane.
Super Team
He's the
Rick all
loony
day.
bin.
Team Rick Grimes.
He's the
fuck
loony
yeah.
bin.
He's a loony bin.
He is a loony bin.
Hey man, a lot of geniuses were loony bins.
Yeah.
A lot of
I
great
feel you.
I also
people
love
were
Glenn,
loony bins.
also one of the most righteous characters
Oh,
in the
yeah,
story.
Glenn.
Just want to
Glenn's-
point that out.
Where was
Glenn's
Glenn?
a class.
This whole
where
episode.
was
You know
no,
who
no
else?
Glenn.
This whole episode was about Shane and.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
Shane and Rick,
And
and,
the
then
suicide
the Andrea
debate.
suicide bullshit.
The suicide.
Yeah.
But
On Shane, Merck, and Otis with the shot to the leg, and then Rick
For the
agreeing with that.
Not to cut you off. Oh, actually,
That's
go ahead.
exactly
My
what
bad.
you just
That's exactly what you did. Not to
Not
cut
to
me
cut you
off.
but let me continue cutting you off.
Let me do it right now.
All right, my bad. Go
Anyway,
ahead,
but him murking Otis, like, I feel like, I mean, Shane at that point did do the right thing. Because I mean, that was to him, to Shane, fucking
You're
Carl.
saying Shane did the right thing when he shot Otis?
If you gotta look at it from Shane feeling that he's like a father to fucking Carl and shit.
Oh yeah.
Because he did it to save Carl, which he would have done fucking anything, and that's how he justified it with Rick, and that's why Rick was just like Rick was kind of like, well, I feel you,
Yeah.
because I mean
That is
Rick would have
true.
done
I
the
think
exact
it's a-
same thing if it were your kid.
You
You,
know
would have
what?
done the exact
Rick
same
feels
thing.
Shane because that's his family. That's his son.
Yeah,
That's his
if
kin.
you look at it from a father's perspective, Shane just
But you
did
can-
what he felt was right.
The only thing he did wrong is he didn't shoot him in the head. That is the only thing.
I'll give
I
you-
understand.
I thought that
I
too,
understand
honestly,
the
but-
logic of that as well.
I think
But-
the point was to get more time with him fighting the zombies
In
off.
that situation, don't you guys
So it's
agree?
big ball.
Don't you guys agree that the most righteous thing to do would have been, listen, dude, I hate to say this, but you're a fat motherfucker. We're about to get killed right now. Let me have that backpack in case you get caught behind. If the zombies grab you, I'll shoot you in the head. I'm
Exactly.
sorry, but this is what has to be done. Give me the fucking backpack right now. That's
Do you
what he
think
should
he's
have
just
done.
gonna lay down the guy with the gun?
It's
you
worth-
tell the guy with the gun
it's
that you're gonna kill him.
Dude,
It's-
self-preservation.
What it comes down to.
Self-preservation overcomes
That's
all.
a
and that guy
better
would never
option
agree
than
with
just
that.
immediately murdering him. You can murder someone and justify it anyway. You can always justify murder, but at the end, are you really going to say that murdering someone was the right thing to do?
Yeah, because 2 people lived.
Fair
2
enough.
people lived?
Oh,
Shane and Carl.
Shane
and Carl.
would have died. The fat man would have died, and then
Carl.
Carl would have died. They all 3 would have died. Well, you can't really say they all 3 would have died. I
Yeah,
mean,
but
fat man could have
the
lived.
But you
I don't
could.
think Shane necessarily would have died.
I think the fat man was destined to die anyway.
Well, in the comic book, he's lived for fucking ever. He didn't die right there.
Well, good thing we're not talking about the comic.
Oh, good thing we're not. Good thing nobody gives
I'm
a
just saying,
fuck.
he was not destined to die. That's all I'm saying. Neither was Sophia, but that's a whole different story.
Yeah. I was just saying, Spencer makes a good point when he brings up the fact that Shane had to sacrifice Otis so that 2 people could live. Carl and Shane, as opposed to both of them dying and Carl dying too.
Yeah.
Hypothetically,
Yeah.
but my only rebuttal is that the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Shane might have thought he was doing the right thing, but killing someone. You know what I mean? I could argue that because Otis is older and wiser and experienced with weapons, maybe fuck Carl. He's a little kid. Let him die. We need Otis to better protect the group. You can argue both sides of it. You know what I'm saying? I just don't think murder is an option at all. The best thing to
First
do would
of
have been
all-
to ask him for the backpack and say he's a fat motherfucker. You might die. Give me the backpack so we can save the kid.
See, you're saying the road to hell is paved with good intentions. You're saying that to a hardcore atheist. There is no hell. So in the end, who
Fair
gives a
enough.
fuck?
Fair enough.
Hey,
Who cares?
Hey,
Alright.
There will
hey.
be no final
Alright.
judgment. No one's gonna stand.
But it
in
was.
front and say
I don't
that.
think it was Shane's call to make then. it wasn't Shane's call to make because Otis is another person. Who am I to say that, I think I am more worthy of living, so I'm going to shoot you so I can get away and save this kid because I decide that this kid's life is worth more than you. We're all people.
Hey man, it's not
We're all
civilization
people.
anymore, bro.
You know?
That's why he made that decision without.
So if
confronting
Otis would have been like, fuck this, I'm going to shoot Shane, and if Otis would have shot Shane in the dome and got away, he would
Here's
have
the
been
thing.
like, Otis knows what's good, Otis did the right thing? Or was Otis just looking out for himself?
No, I would have been like, well, I mean, Shane. Well, that would not have happened, but I feel you. But if
Yeah,
that-
because Otis isn't grimy as fuck.
Well, exactly.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I think if Otis would have killed Shane to save himself. Like if that
That's-
was the situation, he
If-
would have.
If you,
I don't think
if
so.
you
See, I
gave
think the
Otis
reason why
option-
Rick Pwns is because the option of killing someone would never even run through his head. His only way of thinking would be like, what can I do right now to get us both out of this alive? No one's gonna die. Blah blah. Like he proved that when he saved that kid and fucking ripped his leg off the fucking bar. Like Rick is gonna do what he has to do his best to save the day.
See, and that's why
You
you
know?
need Shane there to be like, dude, you're fucking tripping a little bit. We need to back off. Like, we need to do
Yeah, they
this."
do. In the show, there is kind of that chemistry of Rick is sometimes like too much of the greater. It's too not the greater good. Too much.
Too
of
much
good. Too much good.
Yeah,
It's
just
too
like
much
Shane's
morality.
too much bad, and then
Shane is too much of the greater good. He's too much of like. He's
he's like me.
You gotta
No,
do.
that doesn't come me at all. That's great. That's
You gotta
exactly
do
what I
little
am.
evil to achieve the greater good sometimes.
Yeah.
I
And I mean, in the end,
understand that logic, but I just
The evil will be lost to time, and all that will come from it is a human race.
See,
To create more good from it.
You're right, but the contrast between Shane and Rick is that Shane, at least the way he executes his whatever he does, everything executes his life. He is more looking for like the goal of humanity and like to stay alive. He's a survivalist.
Yeah.
But Rick, he's just a humanist. He just wants people to be. He wants his family to be happy. He wants people to be happy, not alive. He wants people to be satisfied
I
living.
feel it's just hard to be happy in those times. So why force it?
I don't know. Those are times where you
I
gotta
would start
do what's
building-
right more than any
I would start
other
building
situation.
up, you just revert back to being in the Stone Ages and build your ass a fucking castle, man.
The castle would
Build a
be
castle
action.
with a fucking moat and a damn drawbridge.
Dude, a moat with
Boom.
sharks? You'd be fucking cool.
Yeah, dude.
That might be hard to
I
come
mean,
by in a zombie apocalypse.
The,
Yeah,
fir- the
look at
first
my
thing you
crate
do
in
is
the
start
fucking
building a big ass
Dark
wall
Ages
that these
or
fools can't get around, and you can start growing your own fucking food, and you don't even have to worry about zombies fucking coming at you.
Dude, all I know is when the
That's
zombie
right.
apocalypse breaks out, I'm breaking into medieval times and I'm gonna be fucking chilling in a fucking castle on the top of your brain. That'll be cool.
That's
Medieval
where,
times
that's where
be
you
a
bring
pretty
out your
bomb spot,
dictatorship, and like, if you do bring people in, hey,
I'm the leader.
start building my wall.
Build my wall!
I'm down for that kind of
I am Lord
dictatorship.
Yotsizzle.
You can
Lord,
feed yourself
feel my
when
wrath.
you garden that shit, and you can help build the wall around what we're gonna make as the new civilization, and I will put my freaking zombie wildlife sign right on the front door. Just for you,
Explain what that sign
just so
is.
you guys know, the
Explain.
zombie wildlife sign is your standard street sign for your post-apocalyptic zombie world, and it's just gonna say
Your standard street sign.
your standard street sign. You know what I'm saying? And it's just gonna have a zombie crawling around, and it says, "Do not feed the wildlife."
I like that. I like those shots they had. I like that the opening and the last scene, like I said earlier, were like very similar. They were both Rick in both scenes. He told them about how like this is my wife, this is my kid, and they
Yeah.
both showed that little clip of Shane like looking out the car and seeing
Seeing
the same zombie
the
like
walker.
Wildlife. That's where I got my street sign wildlife from.
Inspiration.
from my car.
Not how Andrea.
and speak.
How Andrea called out Rick's wife on how that bitch doesn't like do anything, and she just like hopes for everything good, and like everyone does everything for her.
When she was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you got a husband,
Yeah.
a kid, and a boyfriend," I was like, "Damn,
Yeah,
bitch, you
yeah.
went there."
Hostess.
That shit was pretty tight right there. I mean, it was
that's
kinda
a
See,
fun.
I think
That was
I
a
think
low
they
blow.
both made good points, but ultimately that was just pent up tension being
Between both of
unloaded
them.
between two people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're
Just
definitely right.
totally just blowing off steam, like, cause petty argument like that, like
Either of them didn't
That's
really.
still some shit to say.
right?
Yeah.
It definitely is. It definitely is.
Bitch, I ain't got nothing.
It's just
But sometimes you just gotta unload.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't agree with it. Don't get me wrong.
that's what she said.
All right, this is another question I had. What do you guys think? And this is more for these three. How
would you like to tell us who these three are?
You, and you. Pwnaholic, Freddy, and Devon.
Oh yeah, by the way, Pwnaholic is Spencer.
Yeah,
I never cleared that up.
if we've been saying Spencer, we're talking about Pwnaholic.
Yeah.
Just to let you know. Do you guys think that the farm is a long-term solution for them? Do you guys think that they're going to be okay there?
See, they never went over the crops. I've never seen the crops they have, you know?
Yeah,
Have they mentioned it at all?
Dude, they're eating like fresh cucumber.
Yeah,
Okay, well, they have crops. You
yeah,
don't
but
need
I
to show it.
But you need to know how many. What's good? Because I mean, you gotta
That's not-
rotate crops. You can't just keep them in the same soil. So
You're right, but that's not even what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, what if a horde of zombies comes up? You think they're going to be safe in the farm?
oh no,
I think realistically, the way they look at it is that they're
There's
in a
not gonna
low
be a
they're in a
farm.
low population area. They're in
Yeah.
the middle of the farm. They're trying to relatively stay as quiet as possible. They're not typically expecting a
And
horde
nobody's
to
really
just roll
fired
through.
a gun.
Yeah, but they're not
At
really
the
expecting
farm.
it. But they're living in the...
episode 6.
They come fired a gang of guns. I'm
kind of a
joking.
gang of guns, yeah.
Yeah.
No, but they
But also, realistically,
I don't know, it'd be
they
pretty
would
hard
definitely
for, like,
need to find
a
more
horde of-
fortified spot in the future.
That's why I say you start building walls.
yeah,
You don't need to look for a fortified spot. You
Just
need to
cut
make
down
a
trees
fortified
and build
spot.
wall. And
Yeah, they're all bullshitting right now, just fucking
Yeah.
jerking each other off.
Oh, we
they
need
need
to
buy
survive?
some axes and cut down some trees, and
Seriously.
some fences. Like,
You want to survive? Start rebuilding.
That's my
No,
point.
yeah.
They don't have a fence around them. They don't have, like, good security, really.
Yeah,
I
wish
personally
they did,
think
like,
the place
an
they just
overview.
went would have been super dope place to start
Yeah.
holding it down.
When they rolled up there...
But
I
then
thought
you
it
have
was
no
something
way
else,
to
honestly.
you have no way to sustain food. So the farm really is your best option in general, because even if you have to rotate farms or whatever and you fuck it up the first go around,
Yeah.
we've already seen that there's wildlife out there, and I
Yeah.
mean it's a big area to
That's true. They'd be idiots if they
Yeah,
died.
dude,
We're
they-
human
yeah.
beings. We did it once. We can
Yeah.
do it again.
Yeah, shit. Ain't no joke. Hey, we should do an outro for the Pwncast if we're done.
Oh, it is yellow.
Yeah, hey, you guys want
It's springtime Oreo.
redo the intro again?
We should. Why don't we just end it like that? How the fuck are we gonna close our first Pwncast? Boom. That's all I'm saying.
That's what your cats do to me. You know how unpleasant this bong joke's about to be?
As you sit here fucking smoking, you're talking about how my cats are fucking up your breathing. Hold on, I have allergies to cats. Fucking these guys.